Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at AI digital employees.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those AI agents that are starting to take on more complex roles in the workplace?
Right.
It's kind of like we're moving beyond like simple
Yeah.
chatbots
Yeah.
into something that feels more like hiring an actual employee.
It's really interesting to see how fast this field is changing.
It is.
Even just a few years ago, AI models were really limited in what they could do.
Right.
But now we're seeing platforms
Yeah.
that can build AI that can manage everything.
Wow.
From calls and emails to complex software navigation,
It's a lot.
like Anil Nathu explains in AI Coach.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit.
Sure.
What makes an AI digital employee different from the chatbots we're already familiar with?
Well, it's about moving from just conversations to action.
Okay.
AI digital employees can handle pretty complex workflows, like booking a restaurant reservation, coordinating meetings, even putting together reports. They can understand natural language and work with web browsers and software,
Right.
and even make decisions based on the information that they access.
That's impressive.
The goal is to try to mirror human capabilities in the work setting.
So that's where this browserless technology comes in, right?
Yeah.
I was reading about that in AI Coach by Anil Nathu.
Uh-huh.
How does that work?
So
Without getting too technical.
imagine giving your AI a direct line to the information it needs
Okay.
without having to open a web browser visually.
So it's like reading code
Yeah, you are.
instead of looking at a website.
Exactly.
Okay.
This makes everything much faster and more efficient.
I can imagine.
So, for example, if you needed to book a flight,
Okay.
your AI employee could interact directly with the airline's system.
Wow.
No more waiting for pages to load or filling out those forms.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what does all this mean for the average person out there?
Yeah.
Are we all about to be replaced by robots?
Not quite.
Okay,
Good.
good.
The real power of AI digital employees is that they free up human employees from those routine time-consuming tasks.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about things like data entry scheduling, basic customer support,
Right.
all those things that can really bog us down.
Right.
This allows us humans to focus on more creative, strategic, and complex work.
Okay, so are we talking about specific types of jobs
Yeah,
that are good candidates for this AI takeover?
absolutely.
What?
Roles like receptionists, customer support agents,
Uh-huh.
and even sales representatives.
Huh.
They're already seeing a lot of AI integration.
So it's already happening.
It is
Like-
AI Coach by Anil Nathu gives some great real-world examples.
Oh, really?
Like orthodontic practices using AI to manage appointments,
Wow.
or restaurants using it for table reservations.
Cool.
It's especially effective in industries that need 24/7 availability
Right.
and efficient handling of those routine tasks.
So if I'm a business owner,
Yeah.
how do I even go about hiring one of these AI employees? Does it require a ton of coding knowledge?
That's the exciting part.
Really?
Platforms like Nuo.ai, which Anil Nathu highlights in AI Coach,
Right.
have made it incredibly easy to create and deploy these AI digital employees.
Awesome.
They have user-friendly interfaces, pre-built workflows for common business processes,
Okay.
and they often use low-code environments.
So you don't need to be a tech whiz to get started.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds almost too good to be true.
Yeah.
Are there any downsides or potential pitfalls we should be aware of?
Of course, every new technology has its challenges.
Yeah.
One issue is what we call non-deterministic behavior.
Non-deterministic behavior.
Yeah.
What is that?
So imagine your AI employee is booking that flight we talked about,
Okay.
and suddenly the airline's website makes a change.
Hmm.
Maybe they add a new pop-up or rearrange some steps.
Oh.
Well, the AI might not be able to adapt.
And what happens then?
It could get stuck.
Oh, no. So it's not quite a set it and forget it solution then.
Not entirely, but platforms are constantly working to improve the reliability and adaptability of their AI employees.
That's good.
And the potential benefits,
Yeah.
things like boosting productivity, reducing costs, and improving customer service,
Right.
are just too significant to ignore.
I agree.
Yeah. And what's really fascinating is that this technology isn't just for like big tech companies anymore. It's
Right.
becoming more accessible
Yeah.
to businesses of all sizes.
I was reading about that in AI Coach by Anil Nathu.
Yeah.
He mentions a restaurant that was struggling with missed bookings.
Mm-hmm.
Like during off hours, staff breaks.
Yeah.
Even when the phone lines were jammed during peak times.
That makes sense.
So they brought in an AI to manage incoming calls,
Wow.
and they saw a huge increase in revenue.
That's incredible.
It is.
It's all about capturing those opportunities
Yeah.
that might have slipped through the cracks before.
Right.
And it's not just restaurants either.
No.
AI Coach highlights examples from all sorts of industries.
Like those orthodontic practices.
Exactly.
Using AI to manage appointments and handle those basic patient questions.
Yeah, it frees up the staff
Right.
to focus on actual patient care.
That's a good point.
We're seeing it in healthcare, too,
Really?
where AI can help with appointment scheduling and managing patient records.
Wow.
And in professional services,
Oh, yeah.
it can automate tasks like contract review and data entry.
So let's say I'm a business owner and I'm ready to jump on this AI bandwagon.
Okay.
What are some practical things I need to consider
So
before I hire my first AI employee?
the first step is figuring out which tasks or processes you want to automate.
Okay.
Anil Nathu in AI Coach suggests starting with
Yeah.
those repetitive time-consuming tasks that are really bogging down your human employees.
So find those areas where AI can make the biggest impact
Exactly.
right away.
Yeah.
What about the tech side of things?
Sure.
How do I choose the right platform and make sure implementation goes smoothly?
Well, ease of use is a major factor, especially if you don't have a big IT team.
Right?
You want to look for platforms like Nuo.ai.
Okay.
AI Coach mentions them as well,
Yeah.
that offer those low-code environments
What?
and user-friendly interfaces.
So no need to be a coding whiz,
Exactly.
which is good news for a lot of us.
Yeah,
You also want to think about integration capabilities.
that's a good point.
Can the platform easily connect with your existing systems?
All right.
Like your CRM or calendar?
Yeah. Seamless integration is key.
It is?
What about training the AI?
Okay.
How much time and effort does that involve?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, again, platforms like Nuo.ai often have pre-built workflows
Okay.
for common business processes.
So it's not like building something from scratch.
Right.
But even with all these user-friendly features,
Yeah,
we need to consider the human element, right?
absolutely.
How do I prepare my team for the arrival of an AI colleague?
Open communication is essential.
Okay.
Be transparent with your team about why you're implementing AI.
Yeah.
AI Coach by Anil Nathu talks about framing it as hiring an AI employee
Okay.
rather than replacing human jobs.
That's a great way to shift the perspective
Yeah,
and create a sense of opportunity rather than fear.
exactly. And involve your team in the process.
Okay.
Get their input on what tasks they'd like to see automated and how they imagine working with an AI.
So make them feel like part of the solution.
Yeah.
Speaking of potential anxieties,
Right.
how do we address concerns about job displacement?
Acknowledge those concerns and emphasize that AI is about augmenting human capabilities,
Yeah.
not replacing them entirely.
So it's about freeing up employees
Exactly.
to focus on higher level tasks
Uh-huh.
that require uniquely human skills.
Those creative strategic thinking skills that AI can't replicate,
Right.
and highlight that AI will likely create new jobs and opportunities.
That's a good point.
Think about the people who will be needed to manage and train these AI employees.
Right. It's about shifting roles and responsibilities
Exactly.
rather than eliminating them altogether.
Investing in training and skill development for your team is also crucial.
Okay.
We need to equip them for the future of work,
Yeah.
which includes working alongside AI.
Okay. So we've talked about a lot of potential benefits,
Right.
but let's flip the script for a moment.
Okay.
Are there any negative impacts
Yeah.
of these AI digital employees on the workforce
Sure.
that we should be aware of?
Well, one valid concern is the potential for job displacement.
Right.
While AI will create new jobs, it's possible that some existing roles will become automated.
Yeah.
So businesses and policymakers need to be proactive in addressing this.
And providing support for those workers who might be affected.
Absolutely. It's also important to think about managing a workforce
Uh-huh.
that includes both humans and AI.
Right.
We'll need new strategies to ensure clear roles and responsibilities and effective communication.
It really is a whole new era of work.
It is.
And we're all figuring it out as we go.
Exactly. Staying informed is key.
It is.
Which is why resources like AI Coach by Anil Nathu are so valuable.
Well said. Now, before we wrap things up,
Okay.
let's shift our focus back to the individual listener.
Sure.
How can someone prepare for this changing work landscape and the rise of AI digital employees?
Awareness is a great starting point.
Okay.
Resources like the AI Coach by Anil Nathu can really help with that.
Uh-huh.
They provide insights into the trends and developments in AI, which is essential for staying ahead of the curve.
So educate yourself and stay informed.
Yeah.
What about specific skills?
Okay.
Should we all be rushing to learn how to code?
Coding is definitely valuable, but it's not the only path.
Yeah.
Those essential human skills we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
critical thinking, problem-solving, creativity, emotional intelligence, those will be in high demand.
Those are the skills that machines can't replicate.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the importance of soft skills.
Like what?
Communication, collaboration, adaptability.
Okay.
Those will help people thrive in any work environment,
Right.
regardless of technology.
I think it's important to remember that the rise of AI presents us with choices.
That's a good point.
We can choose to view it with fear and apprehension,
Yeah.
or we can choose to embrace it as an opportunity for growth and evolution.
I agree. It's about adapting to the changing landscape.
Right.
And finding ways to leverage AI to our advantage.
Exactly. And that's why it's crucial to have open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of AI.
Absolutely.
We need to establish clear guidelines and regulations to ensure that AI is used responsibly and for the benefit of humanity.
So it's really a balancing act.
It is.
Embracing the potential of AI while also being mindful of its potential downsides.
And finding that balance requires ongoing dialogue and collaboration.
It does.
Between technologists, policymakers, business leaders, and individuals.
I agree. It's a complex landscape.
That's a fascinating and complex landscape, that's for sure.
It is.
And speaking of navigating this new world,
Yeah.
we've got some great questions from our listeners.
Okay.
I think these questions will help us dive even deeper.
Let's hear them.
Okay, our first question comes from Sarah in Seattle.
Okay.
She asks, I'm worried about my job being replaced by AI. What advice would you give to someone in my position?
Well, Sarah, it's a valid concern.
Yeah.
I think the key is to focus on those uniquely human skills that are really hard for AI to replicate.
Right.
We've talked about them throughout this deep dive.
We have.
Things like critical thinking, creativity, complex problem-solving, emotional intelligence.
Those are the skills that will be in high demand.
Exactly.
Even in an AI-powered world.
And remember, AI is a tool.
Right.
It's designed to work alongside us, not necessarily replace us entirely.
So it's about finding ways to collaborate with AI, leveraging its strengths, while also showcasing your own unique skills and talents.
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the power of continuous learning.
Yeah.
The job market's always evolving.
It is.
And being adaptable and open to acquiring new skills will be essential.
Great advice. Okay, our next question comes from John in Chicago.
Okay.
He asks, what are some of the ethical challenges we need to consider when implementing these AI digital employees?
That's a great question, John.
Yeah.
And it's a conversation we need to be having proactively.
Right.
One challenge is the potential for bias.
Bias.
Yeah. AI systems learn from the data they are given, and if that data is biased, the AI can unfortunately perpetuate and even amplify those biases.
Look like that saying garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. We need to be extremely careful about ensuring that these AI digital employees are trained on diverse and representative data sets.
Right.
And we need to be constantly evaluating these systems to make sure they are being used fairly and equitably.
Makes sense.
And Neil Nathu also stresses the importance of transparency and accountability when it comes to AI in AI Coach.
Yeah.
We need to be able to understand how these systems are making decisions
Okay.
and ensure that they are aligned with our values.
We also need to consider those broader societal impacts.
Yeah.
Like the potential for job displacement.
Absolutely. While AI will create new jobs, some existing jobs may become automated.
Right.
So businesses, governments, and individuals need to work together to prepare for these shifts and provide support for those who might be affected.
It's a shared responsibility for sure.
It is.
Okay, we've got time for one more question.
Yeah, quite.
This one comes from Maria in Miami.
Okay.
She asks, what industries are most likely to see the most significant impact from AI digital employees?
We're already seeing a lot of impact in industries like hospitality, healthcare, and customer service. But honestly, the potential goes way beyond that.
Yeah, any industry that relies on repetitive tasks, data processing, and customer interactions is ripe for disruption.
Exactly. Think finance, education, manufacturing, even the arts.
It's really incredible to think about the possibilities.
It is.
It seems like no industry is immune to this AI revolution.
That's right. And I think we're just scratching the surface of what AI digital employees will be capable of in the future.
Well, this has been an amazing deep dive
It has.
into the world of AI digital employees.
Yeah.
We've explored the technology, the potential benefits,
Uh-huh.
the challenges, and what it all means for the future of work.
It's a rapidly evolving landscape.
It is.
But one thing is clear.
Yeah.
AI is here to stay.
Absolutely. And as Anil Nathu points out in AI Coach,
Yeah.
the key is to approach this new era with a sense of curiosity, responsibility, and a willingness to adapt.
Well said.
Thank you for joining us today. Visit the AI Coach website for more AI insights by Anil Nathal.